Okay, wait, so Mark Zuckerberg was cool? Oh yeah, and an absolute. So The Social Network is a drama based off of the life of Mark Zuckerberg and the rise of his biggest creation, Facebook. The film was directed by David Fincher, which we know from movies like Seven and Gone Girl, but it was released all the way back in 2010, which, wow, that was 10 years ago. Crazy. So this film rose to critical acclaim, earning the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Original Score, while also earning nominations for Best Leading Actor and Best Picture. This film became so popular because of how it showed the world how interesting the rise of Mark Zuckerberg was and how much drama the creation of Facebook actually had. So back in 2010, not many people knew much about Zuckerberg, so this movie is what gave him a big impression about the guy. However, some of these impressions turned out to be wrong. David Kirkpatrick, the author of the book The Facebook Effect, the inside story of the company that is connecting the world, says that the movie is around 40% true. He says that Mark Zuckerberg was more of a confident guy and he was a lot more secure than the movie portrayed him. Because in this movie, he's portrayed as a snide and sarcastic guy, which turns a lot of people away. This is quite disappointing for me because even though he was borderline unlikable in this film, his character is what drove the story. Okay, anyways, let's get to the movie's plot. We start off with meeting a young Mark Zuckerberg as he is still a student at Harvard. He is on a date with his girlfriend, but they get into a big argument and then end up breaking up. This argument shows the character of Mark, which makes him pretty much a Anyways, because of this, Mark Zuckerberg decided to make an interactive website as a prank for Harvard students to decide between two girls and decide who's better. This ended up being known as FaceMash, which is like the more immature version of Facebook. Even though this came from a drunk and heartbroken Mark Zuckerberg, this website ended up being a huge success. The Harvard server ended up crashing because of the amount of people trying to access the site in one night. This did get him in trouble though, because he had to hack the Harvard server to get these females' pictures in the first place, earning him a pretty long suspension. But this ended up being a huge thing for Mark, because in that one night, he rose to fame at Harvard, earning people's attention because of how intelligent he was. Since Harvard is used for the future rich and famous, many wanted to use him as a stepping stone for their own businesses. This could be more true for the Winklevoss twins and Divya Naranja, who wanted to use Mark as a way to create their own idea, which was a Harvard-centered social network known at the time as the Harvard Connection. Mark Zuckerberg initially agreed to this, but decided that it wasn't worth his time. The thing is though, he never told them this, and even started to use their idea as the basis for his own project, a website we now know as Facebook. Once Mark was ready with his idea, he went to his friend Eduardo for an initial investment to grow his business, a business that Eduardo and everyone around him knew would become successful. The rest of the film sees Mark try to grow Facebook, seeing it start from a Harvard exclusive site to allowing multiple colleges to access it, to even allowing the entire world to access Facebook. Later on though, the two Facebook creators meet up with Sean Parker, who is a controversial investor at the time. He promises that he can grow the brand. Mark ends up falling for Parker's ideas, which annoys Eduardo, who found Parker to be unbearable. This creates a strain on their relationship. So all of this drama leads up to two federal cases. The first one being the Winklevoss twins suing Mark for stealing their idea basically. And the second one being Eduardo suing Mark for basically kicking him out of the business once his investment was bought out, taking any recognition away from Eduardo. In the end, Mark Zuckerberg ended up paying millions of dollars to the two parties, and even adding Eduardo's name back on the co-founder list of Facebook. So one of the reasons why this film was so good was the performances by everyone in the main cast. From Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal of Mark Zuckerberg, to Andrew Garfield's portrayal of Eduardo, to even Armie Hammer who played the two twins. Everyone did great and added something to this film. Even Justin Timberlake did great as Sean Parker, especially considering that he's a singer rather than being a pure actor. The actors didn't need to do much for the movie to be acceptable, but because they killed it, the audience wanted to invest their time into the story. So in the end, this movie was definitely a good time. There was never a moment while I was watching that I became bored or wished that the movie skipped over key moments so that the story could be faster. Everything from the direction to the writing to the cast were on point, and I applaud everyone involved for doing that. I'd really recommend that everyone watches this film because it's just that good. Plus, a lot of us use Facebook or at least Instagram. So knowing how all of that came to be is actually really good to know. And with that, this review is over. If you liked the video, leave a like and thank you for watching.
Let me see.